Welcome back to Golf Talk. I'm your host, Jimmy, who shoots in the 90s. And honestly, that's probably the perfect person to have this conversation with you today, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a scratch golfer, pretending I shoot 72 every weekend or acting like I've mastered this game at any point, because I haven't. I've been playing golf since I was around 11 years old. And at my best, I was basically a low 90s golfer that could occasionally sneak into the 80s. Like, once in a while, you'd put together that magical round where somehow everything worked at the same time, and you'd walk off the course thinking, okay, I figured this out. Now it's time to go pro. Then the next weekend, you shoot a 98, and you lose a dozen balls, and you are completely humbled again. That's why we love this game, right? Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about how hard it actually is to break 90 in golf. And you let me know, what is your average score? Let me know in the comment section. I read every single comment on every single video. Now, I'm getting back into golf heavy again. I'd probably call myself, I'm gonna be as honest and transparent as I can as we grow this channel. And eventually we're probably gonna get some vlogs, and we're gonna get some IRL stuff. I'm probably around a 95 golfer, trying to consistently work my way into the high 80s. That's the goal. Started back a couple months ago, and it's not like I'm relearning everything, but when you take a couple years off, you kind of do have to relearn everything. But I know if I stick with it, I can definitely get into the high 80s. It's not because I'm chasing trophies, not trying to go pro, nothing like that. Honestly, I just want to become a dependable golfer. I want to play in tournaments with friends, my family, my brother. We used to play all the time, scrambles, alternate shot, charity events, all that fun stuff, and actually contribute and not just feel like I'm surviving every hole, helping that my short game saves me. The short game was always the best part of my game. Now, that's me. I would say my short game has usually been my strength. Around the greens, putting, little chips, touch shots, I can figure it out. But long game, especially long irons, absolute enemies of the state. If you hand me a 4-iron and confidence at the same time, one of them is going to disappear immediately. But that's what makes this whole breaking 90 thing interesting, because I think people massively underestimate how hard it actually is. Seriously, if you're new to golf, social media can completely destroy your perspective of what normal golf actually looks like. You open TikTok or YouTube, and every dude is striping drives 310 right down the middle, firing darts at the pin, shooting 74 while casually talking to the camera like it's nothing at all. Meanwhile, the average golfer in real life is out there fighting for their freaking life on hole 6 after 3 bad swings and a chunked wedge. Breaking 90 is hard. Like, legitimately hard. Because breaking 90 doesn't mean you had one good hole. It means you held your game together for 4 straight hours, mentally and physically. That's the part that people don't get. Golf is less about your best shots and more about how bad your bad shots actually are. You could shoot in the 80s while hitting some of the ugliest golf shots of your life. You cannot shoot in the 80s while making constant disasters. I think that's where the mental shift I think a lot of golfers eventually have to make, myself included. When you first start golfing, everything is about the perfect shot. You want to crush drives. If you've played golf for a while, or you're in it like I am, you're already going to understand. You're going to shake your head and be like, I get you, Jimmy. Sitting in bed, laying around, trying to figure things out in your mind after you just hit a bucket of balls or you just had a round, and having struggles, but then you figure out the new formula. You figured it out. Like, you've got it. The light bulb goes off in your head, and you're like, I can't wait to get back out there and try this. And you do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times, and it never works that way. And that's what keeps us coming back, right? The chase for perfection that we'll never get. You want the pure iron strike. You want the hero recovery shot through the trees that curves around a branch like your freaking Tiger Woods in 2005. But the golfers that break 90, consistently, they aren't trying to hit miracle shots all day. It's actually the opposite. It's pretty boring. They're just trying to avoid doubles and triples. That's it. That's the secret sauce. That is all they are doing. Breaking 90 is boring golf in a lot of ways. It's keeping the ball in play. It's accepting a bogey is okay. It's punching out sideways instead of trying to thread a gap that exists only in your imagination. It is understanding that one bad shot doesn't have to become 4 bad shots. That's the mental game that a lot of people really get challenged with. I know. I have lived it for decades. Trust me. And that's probably the biggest thing I had to learn, especially as somebody who grew up playing casually and emotionally. You hit one terrible shot and immediately your brain goes into recovery mode. I did it just a couple hours ago on the driving range. Had a big bucket of balls, going through every club. I like to, I have a notepad on my phone, so I'm updating my distances on my clubs. Just got a new 52 degree ping wedge. I was working on that. and I'm doing good. I'm fresh. I'm not tired. Hitting some pretty good shots, getting some distances down for future use. And then I get tired and I start hitting a bad shot and then another one. And then my brain goes into that stupid recovery mode. I got to make this up. Then you try to hit the perfect shot to erase the mistake, and somehow things get worse. That's golf in a nutshell. Golf punishes impatience harder than almost any sport that I have ever played. And I think that's why so many newer golfers get frustrated so quickly, because they're in a hurry. I don't know what they're in a hurry for, but they're in a hurry. They want to break 90 after 6 months. They want consistency immediately. They think buying new clubs or watching swing videos for 8 hours is suddenly going to transform them overnight. If you happen to stumble across this video and you're one of those people just getting into golf, trust me, and I know I'm just a guy, a voice over the internet, and you're like, why would I trust you? Well, I'm asking you to, because I have experienced everything that you're going to go through when it comes to the journey in golf. Golf doesn't work that way. This game humbles everybody eventually. You can play for years and years and still feel lost sometimes. You can go from shooting 89 one weekend to 102 the next and have no clue what changed. That's normal golf. And honestly, I think people need to hear that more, because social media has made it seem like everybody becomes good instantly. In reality, most golfers spend years stuck in the mid to high 90s trying to figure out the consistency, and the consistency is the entire battle. That's my battle. I can hit a great pitching wedge. I can hit all kinds of good gap wedges and A wedges. I'm a pretty good putter. I'm really good around the green. I like to feel like I have a good feel for green play. I can hit 8 irons all day. 7 irons are pretty good. My 3-wood, it's very consistent when things are clicking. But you put a driver in my hand, or you put a 5 iron or a 4 iron, and things tend to get a little sideways, right? I mean, to break 90, you don't need to hit amazing shots all day. You just need enough playable shots stacked together. Think about it. You could technically shoot an 89 averaging bogey golf with 1 par somewhere mixed in, but you don't have to have pars or birdies. Those are bonuses. You don't need them. You don't have to have perfect iron play at all. You don't need to drive the ball 300 yards. You just need to avoid the blow-up holes. That's it. The guys that stay stuck shooting 95 to 105 usually have 2 to 3 holes every single round, like clockwork, that completely explode. Penalty strokes, OBT shots, chunk chips, 3 putts, 4 putts, hero shots from places that they have zero business attempting them from. And I'm saying this as somebody who has done this, especially with long irons. Long irons have ruined more rounds for me than probably anything else in golf, because mentally, I want to hit the shot. I want to see the distance. I want affirmation. I convince myself it's there. Then the next thing you know, I've topped a 4 iron 40 yards, and I'm scrambling in to the point where I have just now reached a point in my golf journey that I'm okay at putting the 4 iron and taking it out of my bag and replacing it with a hybrid 4. I don't know why up until this point I couldn't accept that, or you can't be the guy out there with a hybrid. I don't know what the mental block was, but I'm past it now. That's another thing I've actually started learning recently, is play the shot you can hit, not the shot you wish you could hit. A lot of golfers will score lower immediately if they just simply stop forcing clubs they hate hitting. If your 5-wood works better than your 4 iron, use it. If your hybrid is safer, hit the hybrid. Nobody cares what club you used if the score is lower at the end of the day. They don't. I promise you. Golf ego destroys scores. And honestly, the short game is where breaking 90 happens. I believe that, because if you can chip and putt decently, you can survive. You can survive mistakes. That's why older golfers can still beat younger players all the time. They may not hit bombs off the tee anymore, but they know how to recover. They know how to save bogey instead of making a triple. And that's saving bogey is a skill. That's another mindset that newer golfers struggle with. They think bogey's a failure. In reality, for most amateur golfers, bogey's perfectly fine golf. If you're trying to break 90, bogey is your bro. Bogey is your best friend. You don't need to attack every pin. You don't need to force pars constantly. Just steady as she goes. You need emotionally controlled golf, which I know is way easier said and then done. That's probably the biggest challenge, the mental side. It is mine. Golf exposes your personality immediately. If you're impatient, golf's going to show you that. If you spiral after mistakes, golf will show you. If you lose focus easily, golf will show you. There's nowhere to hide for those 4 hours. I think that's why we get addicted. Because when golf finally clicks for even a few holes, it feels incredible. You know what I'm talking about. When you flush that shot, it's like nothing else. Also, in the comment section, let me know, what is the devil club for you? It's the 4 iron for me. Just want you to know. I mean, you hit a clean iron shot, you drain a long putt, you save a par after a bad drive. Suddenly the game feels easy for about 7 minutes before it humbles you all over again. And if you're doing this in a scramble with a team, you're the guy. But the chase, that's why we come back. For me personally, this next golf chapter is less about perfection and more about becoming reliable. I want to consistently play in the 80s eventually, but I also want to enjoy the process more instead of feeling pressure every round. I want to play scrambles. I want to play alternate shot tournaments, fun events with friends that I know I can contribute. Hit a few clutch shots, be dependable around the green, stop turning one bad swing into a snowman on the scorecard, and I think a lot of golfers are in the same place, especially guys around my age getting back into golf heavily in your 40s. You realize pretty quickly, this game is not conquered overnight. There's layers, small improvements, learning course management, learning your misses, understanding when to attack and when to just survive the hole. That's golf. That's real golf, not highlight golf. And if you're a newer golfer and you stumble upon my video, don't rush it. Do not compare your year one golf game to somebody that's been playing for 20 years or you see on YouTube or TikTok. Don't let social media trick you into thinking everybody shoots in the 70s. They do not. Most golfers don't break 100. Breaking 100 is hard. Breaking 90 is really hard. Breaking 80 consistently is a completely different world. But that's also what makes those milestones feel rewarding. You earn them. Every golfer remembers their first time breaking 100, 90, 80, 70. If you're really, really blessed, it takes work. It takes failure. It takes rounds where you want to snap your driver in half and quit the game forever. And then somehow you come back next weekend and you do it again. So yeah, I'm excited for this journey. Even as a probably 95 golfer at the moment, trying to claw back into the 80s consistently, I am enjoying learning the game all over again. The mental side, the course management, figuring out what works for me versus when I was younger, accepting that maybe long irons and I are just never meant to have a healthy relationship. Maybe hybrids are the future. I don't know. So if you guys are on the same journey or are trying to break 90 or whatever you're trying to do, trying to break 100, 110, trying to be more consistent, or just trying to survive the crazy game one round at a time, let me know in the comments where your game is right now. What's your biggest weakness? The circle of trust. I'm not going to judge you. Driver, putting, mental game, bunkers, long irons, all of it. And yeah, welcome to Golf Talk. We're going to figure this game out together, probably very slowly, but together.